All right, ladies and gentlemen, Happy New Year and welcome to the rebirth of the How to Hunt Turkey podcast. My name is Dan Johnson. And for those of you guys who do not know me, I am the CEO of the Sportsman's Empire Podcast Network. I am the host of other podcasts like the Nine Finger Chronicles podcast, the Western Rookie podcast, and some other podcasts, the How to Hunt Deer podcast as well. And so the first thing that I got to do as we bring this podcast back to life is send a huge shout out to Jace. Jace took care of this podcast for, I don't even know, a couple years maybe. And he had a new kid. And when you have new kids, you have new responsibilities. And so he told me, hey, man, I'm just not going to be able to swing it. And so I said, you know what? Let me give this a try. And here I am as the new host of the How to Hunt Turkey podcast. And here's what the goal is with this new podcast moving forward into 2026. Turkey hunting is one of those sports or one of those activities that is very seasonal. Other than today's guest, and we'll meet him in just a minute, majority of the people just don't think about turkey hunting 365 days a year. And so instead of me trying to make this podcast all year long, and maybe it eventually will turn back into that, I'm going to throw 20 episodes at you of some of the people out there who have a deep passion for hunting turkeys, who are very knowledgeable about hunting turkeys, and who are really good at taking that knowledge and putting it into words that will make all of us, including myself, a better turkey hunter. So that's the goal with the next 20 episodes. We got, I think one of the next episodes is Aaron Warbritton from the Hunting Public. He's going to be on there. We're going to be talking with some guys from Nightingale. We're going to be talking with some guys from Vortex. All these dudes are serious deer hunters. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the How to Hunt Deer How to Hunt Deer. See? It's a reconditioning. I need to recondition myself moving forward into this new hosting role. So this is the How to Hunt Turkey podcast brought to you by Vortex Optics. And I might as well introduce guest number one, series number one. I don't know personally of another guy who is as excited about the upcoming turkey season as Mr. Paul Campbell. Paul.
You know how hard it was to keep my mouth shut when you called this the How to Hunt Deer podcast?
I know, dude. I am
and
so
you called
sorry.
the guys from Nightingale big deer hunters, which they are. They are.
Yeah.
I know those guys, but man, that's turkey hunting royalty right there. Those guys.
Exactly.
So.
And so,
man, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. The goal is to get some people on here who love it. Right. That's the goal. And I'm also one of those guys who I've been turkey hunting for a lot of years. I mean, probably I would say I was into turkey hunting before I was a serious deer hunter. Not as long as I've been a deer hunter, but a serious deer hunter. And so I can remember like getting into it seriously in 2001 when I was still in college. And I think for me, the reason I got into turkey hunting so much was because it was more accessible than deer hunting was. It was easier to hop out real quick, go on a turkey hunt than it was to hop out real quick and go on a deer hunt. So that's where how I fell into it. But my first question for you, Mr. Paul Campbell, is you got to introduce yourself. So Who are you? What organizations do you work for? All of that stuff.
Yeah. So Dan, again, thanks for having me on. And I am, there's a lot of people like me that I've gotten to meet over the years that, I think about turkey hunting and turkeys literally 365 days a year. Christmas morning, I'm talking about it, thinking about it, texting my turkey hunting buddies, right? No days are off limits, man. No days off. So I work for the NWTF for 5 years. I just recently quit that position in September. I started a new business, a new nonprofit foundation with a couple really good friends of mine, Nathaniel Maddox, who wrote and directed and filmed The Colonel and the Fox, the turkey hunting documentary for Mossy Oak. Folks listening might know him. If you don't, go check out that movie, man. That thing was freaking cool. And then Brent Rogers, another dear friend who was also in that film. So we started a business that focuses on historical preservation of wild turkey hunting culture, heritage, turkey calls, VHS stuff. We started an archive. It's pretty cool, man. So that's what I get to do. I talk about turkeys literally every day of my working career, and I've done that for the last almost 6 years at this point. I'm very fortunate to do that. So I just an Ohio guy. I'm born and raised here in Central Ohio. This is my 19th year hunting turkeys. 19th year. And 2026. Yeah, man. So big, I guess, anniversary for me next year. 2 decades doing it, man. So the wild turkey very much saved my life, changed my life. I mean that completely. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to talk about turkey hunting, to do it, right, to chase these critters all over this country and to meet wonderful people all around the world, really all around the world at this point. I've hunted with folks from other countries, which is freaking cool. So yeah, that's it, man. That's who I am. Dude that likes to hunt turkeys, and I get to talk into the microphone about it. I talked to you into starting this, 4 years ago?
Oh yeah.
So here we are.
Yep. Did you used to host this?
I did. I started this, man.
Yeah, you started this with us.
Yeah.
And then it got passed on to Jace, and he did a good job. And now I'm just trying to fill your guys' bootsteps.
There we go.
I'm just trying to follow in your guys' bootsteps.
Yeah, you'll do great.
But you mentioned something that I want to elaborate on, because I truly do feel that deer hunting for me saved my life. Mm-hmm. It course corrected me away from a lifestyle that was unhealthy in several ways. Talk to me a little bit about how turkey hunting did that for you.
Yeah. So I didn't grow up in a hunting family. My dad, I had uncles and grandparents that hunted, in West Virginia. Born and raised there. My dad was born and raised there. I never met those people. They died before I was born. My dad didn't hunt. And so when I was 25 years old, my dad died suddenly, unexpectedly, right? Had a heart attack, died. I talked to him on Sunday evening. Monday morning, I got the call that he had died. And so, during that time, just in my life, that was tumultuous, right? Yeah. And then, for your younger listeners, they probably won't remember, but you will, the economic downturn, there in 2006, 7, and 8 and all that. And so I'd been in and out of jobs during that time. I couldn't keep one, man. I kept getting laid off. I worked in the golf industry. It was just an absolute disaster. And I was a mess, man. I was drinking heavily. I had no direction. You talk about course correction, right? I didn't have a course. I didn't know what I was doing. I was a single father. I had a young kid. He was 5. It was just floating through life, man, just absolutely miserable and just making terrible life decisions, and not doing what life demanded of me, right? As a father, as a person, as an employee, friend, son, whatever. I just wasn't doing it. And, just by chance, one of my, still to this day, my best friend, we met in kindergarten. We've been best friends ever since then. He had gotten into turkey hunting. And just one day, man, and his dad had died 6 months before mine, right? And just one day he said, "Hey man, you want to go turkey hunting?" And my response to him was, what the hell's a wild turkey? Like, I had no idea that people did this thing, right? I didn't know this bird was around. And so, I won't drag it on too long, but man, I go out, I bought the cheapest Walmart camo that I could afford. I bought the cheapest pair of boots that I could afford. I bought a Primo's Power Crystal Call. And I went out, and Kenny and we went turkey hunting, man, and it freaking rained the entire week. And so the first 3 days of the season, I didn't hear a turkey. I didn't see a turkey. I mean, it was just miserable, man. We're wet and cold, and then finally it was like Wednesday or Thursday of that day, man, I hear my first turkey gobble. And I'll never forget this, man. My eyes are like this big, and I look over at him. I'm like, "Oh my God, did you hear that thing?" He's like, "That's what I'm telling you, man. These things are awesome." And it was like that moment on, man, something kind of clicked in my mind. I didn't actually see a turkey that year. But I knew at that moment, that's what I wanted to do in life, right? I wanted to be a turkey hunter. It gave me purpose. At that point in my life, it gave me purpose. Yeah. And now, 20 years later, that purpose changed dramatically. The turkey is very much part of my life. But man, I would go out that summer, and I would go out to parks, that were close to the house that I knew had turkeys in them. And I would just listen to them, man. I would call to them and just, just watch them. And I did that, and it took me 3 years to kill my first turkey.
Yeah.
And, but man, it was just from that first gobble, something just got rewired in my brain.
Yeah.
And, I'm forever grateful for that bird. It pulled me out of a hole. Dan, and honestly, man, I don't know if I ever would have climbed out of it. So
Yeah.
very, very, very grateful for that damn bird.
I'll
So
tell you this, man. The outdoors has a way of doing that.
it does.
Of maybe it's hunting, maybe it's something else outdoor related, but the
Yeah.
outdoors has a way of finding people in one of their lowest moments in life. And this is a nature thing. For me it was nature.
Yeah.
Like it was drinking heavily, staying out too late, like just not being like basically a menace to society, right? Just a piece of
Yeah.
garbage. Like, like
No,
you go down,
absolutely
right?
identical. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was sitting in a tree stand. I didn't even see a deer, but it was the most beautiful, epic, like whitetail October scenario that you could get.
Yeah.
And something grabbed a hold of me. And now, if you want to get spiritual about it, you could say maybe it was God talking to you,
Yeah.
nature talking to you, whatever direction you feel you want to go down. But something grabbed me and said, you got to do more of this. And I did. I started doing more of this. And at that point, I didn't test the waters. At that point, I jumped in with everything, and I was turkey hunting, and I was fishing, and I was deer hunting. And for me, a majority of my time is uh, in the deer woods. But as I get older and my kids get older, they love turkey hunting,
Yeah.
as well. So nature is a beautiful thing, and it has a way of finding people when they're low and helping build them up. And it sounds like that's what's happened for you. That's what happened for me.
Very much
And
so. Yeah.
I'm thankful that we get to do this every
Yeah.
single year. That's
Yeah.
the best part.
Yeah, and I don't want this to be a controversial statement, but yeah,
Yeah.
and it may be, but there's the R3 movement in this country: recruit,
Mhm.
retain, reactivate, right? And it draws a lot of criticisms
Yeah.
from long-term veteran hunters. You're bringing people into the outdoors, right?
Right.
And are there people that hunt that probably shouldn't? Yeah, probably, right? There are people that shouldn't be doing things in all aspects of life,
Mhm.
right? And so I just when I hear that, I like it hurts me because I know
Mhm.
how powerful and how life-changing that hunting was for me.
Right.
And I want to see that for other people. Like you said, it hunting in the outdoors has a knack of finding people at their lowest moments in life. It's healing, right?
Right.
And
Right.
I think it's very powerful. Life and the NWTF, their vision statement is, the life-changing power of the outdoors. And that's everything, man. That's hiking, that's fishing, that's deer hunting, it's elk hunting, whatever it is, turkey hunting, um, frisbee golf, whatever, man. I don't know. But
Yep.
but the outdoors is very powerful, and
Yeah.
I'm very, very grateful for that opportunity. So
I want to talk about turkey hunting specifically.
yeah.
Up and I just briefly want to compare it to deer hunting. And here's what I absolutely love about turkey hunting. The turkey community, turkey hunting in general, the turkey industry per se, there is no ego, I feel, compared to the deer hunting. And it's
Mhm.
one difference. It's the antlers,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
There's this thing that happens with deer hunting that there's a big buck craze and age class and an antler size and people saying what you should and shouldn't shoot and things like that. And yes, there's different versions of turkey hunting and different species of turkey you can hunt, but I've never passed a turkey. I've never I've never told somebody about an age class I measured the beards and say, oh, I shot a 8-inch
Yeah.
beard or a 9-inch beard, whatever. That's about it. Right. And then it's about the story of the hunt more and the animal more than it is for deer hunting for some reason I physically observed. What's your take on that?
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more with that, man. Um, you know, I get asked that question a lot about just kind of the difference between deer hunting and turkey hunting, and there is there's definitely like a clear difference, right? And
Right.
what turkeys don't have antlers, right? So a
Right.
lot of people, a lot of deer hunters don't care about them. And
Right.
that's fine for me, right? As a turkey hunter, I don't care. I think that and this is really only if you pay attention to social media, if you pay attention to your podcasts and
Hmm.
the content creation of the day, that you'll witness some of that ego starting to creep in into
Hmm.
the turkey hunting world.
Yeah.
And as a turkey hunter, I very much blame the deer hunters, right? And and that's just, it is what it is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There, and like you can score a turkey, which is wild to me. And I'm not just
Yeah.
talking about like you can add up the beard and the spurs and like I don't even know, man. I've never paid attention to it. But I think that there is that it, you mentioned it, like it's the access is the big thing for turkeys,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
It's the access is just easier,
Right.
for turkeys than it is for deer. And I hope that it always remains that way. Now, some states
Right.
are a little different, right? You get down into the heart of it, man. Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, you're not knocking on doors and getting permission. It's like trying to
Right.
knock on someone's door in Iowa as an out-of-state deer hunter. That shit ain't
Right.
happening. Sorry. The
Right.
same thing in Ohio. That's not happening.
Right.
I could knock on the same door in Ohio for deer hunting and get shooed away. I knock on it for turkeys. I'm like, yeah, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that it is something that like diehard turkey hunters like myself, that we try to protect the sport from
Hmm.
that, right? We try to protect the purity of it, man, to keep that mentality out. Um, and I hope that we do.
Right.
I've had like,
Yeah.
dude, I've killed a lot of turkeys. I've had one person in my entire life, like, what'd he score? I don't know, dude. I don't even measure beards most of the time until they're sitting on my desk. I just don't
Yeah.
care, right? It's in,
Yeah.
and you mentioned in the front end of this, it's about the experience, right? Um, I've killed jakes in the past. I've gotten hammered for this, man, before. And online about people killing jakes, and is there an impact to the population, right? They'll be breeding in a year or two, yeah, absolutely. But I think for most people, man, and let me clarify this: I'm not out jake hunting every year, right? Like that's not what I'm doing, man. I don't want people to be like, I've gotten death threats, dude, over sticking up for people killing jakes. It's just wild, dude. But
Really? Death threats?
dude, literally death threats. I had some guy message me like, "I'll shoot you in the face," because I was like, I made a comment during a podcast like, "If you want to kill a Jake, man, dude,
Yeah.
it's not up to me to tell you. You're a grown man." Right? Like that's where I'm like, dude, you're a grown man. Like enjoy your time. Like I can't tell you what to do. If you spent your Saturday afternoon taking a turkey and you kill it, good for you, man. I'm not
That's
going to judge.
crazy.
Yeah, dude, I'm not going to
That's
judge that.
crazy.
Yeah, it's wild, man. People are crazy, but
Yeah.
I want people to enjoy the experience, enjoy the hunt, right?
Yep.
And be happy with it. Work hard.
Yeah.
Don't cheat the process. That's the big
Right.
thing for me, right? Don't cheat the process. So
Yeah.
I rambled a little bit there, but that's what podcasts are for.
Yeah. There's a big difference when it comes to turkey hunting culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I lived in Alabama and I lived in Georgia for a handful of years. And then, I'm born and raised in Iowa. Now I'm back in Iowa. There's a definite passion difference, Midwest and the South,
Yeah,
right? And I know there's
without a
turkeys out west. Why does the South have such this? Like for me, it's perceived, right? So why does the South get more fired up about turkey hunting, and there's more of a culture and a passion around turkey hunting than there is in the Midwest and states like, anywhere from Iowa to Pennsylvania and New York?
Yeah, that is a great question, and one that I love answering. And it is not perceived. That is factual, man. That's just how it is, right? And as a northern turkey hunter, I hate saying that. It's like Big Ten versus SEC,
Right.
But so I think what it comes down to, and I think you got to rewind the clock a lot to get to this point, to where turkey hunting is ingrained in the just the hunting culture and really like the broader Southern culture at a level that we just can't compete with in the North. And that's just how it'll always be. But I think we can go back to, you rewind the clock decades, man, almost 100 years at this point,
Right.
to where there were no turkeys in Iowa, Wisconsin,
Right.
Minnesota,
Right.
Ohio, Indiana, New York, whatever it is, man. You might have like small, isolated pockets. So we're talking like hundreds of turkeys in a state compared to thousands of turkeys
Right.
in the state in the South. So the South is like the nursery, the incubator, the protector, the savior of turkeys at a time, in the 20s, 30s, 40s, when populations were decimated, right?
Yeah.
Those turkeys in the South, were used to spread population, to reestablish populations for decades across the country. So I think that, if your great 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 grandfather went rabbit hunting and pheasant hunting and deer hunting and taught your grandpa, and then your dad taught you, I think that's where it came from, right? That's
Right.
where turkey hunting has woven itself into the hunting culture in the South, because they had turkeys to hunt. We didn't have
Mhm.
turkeys to hunt in Ohio. The first modern turkey hunting season in Ohio was 1966.
Yeah.
You
That's a
know,
lot
so
closer. That's a lot closer than people realize. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the people that hunted turkeys for the first time, like here's one for you. You're going to talk to the Night and Hail folks. You probably won't have Harold on him. Maybe you will. Awesome, dude. Uh, he was one of the first 12 people to kill a turkey in the state of Kentucky in modern turkey hunting times. Think about that. Harold
That's
Knight,
nuts.
still alive, right? And so the guys that he learned from, and then I'm saying like him, but like that generation, they learned from like literally like the moonshiners in Kentucky
Yeah.
and Tennessee, and back in the 30s and 40s, right, when there were no legal, really,
Yeah.
the hunting seasons weren't as liberal as they are now, with bag limits and a month long season or whatever it was. These guys were
Yeah.
hunting turkeys, you know, below the law, I guess, outside
Yeah.
of the law. So
Outside. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
outside of the law, man. So I think that, that's where it's ingrained in the culture, because they've had turkeys, quite frankly, they just had turkeys to hunt longer.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't a thing. And so I think generationally that love and that passion for turkey hunting has been passed down longer in the South than it has in the North. So
Yeah.
I put it up like you go to like the deer hunting culture in Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, like the UP, you've got the buck poles. There's no buck poles in Ohio, right? But it's the same thing in turkey hunting. You stop at a gas station in the South, just a random mom and pop gas station. There's turkey calls sitting on the shelf.
Yeah.
Some dude's just making them and selling them. That's
Yeah.
cool. I love that stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. I definitely had a vibe there when I was living in Alabama. Like, guys would take off work for the opener of turkey, but they
Oh
wouldn't
yeah,
do it. They wouldn't do it for deer hunting.
no,
So, little bit different of a vibe down there.
yeah,
Now,
without doubt,
about turkey hunting in general,
yeah.
right? What is it about turkey hunting that, and you can even talk about your own experience,
Mhm.
the specifics of turkey hunting that captivates guys like you and others to just like fall in love with it.
Yeah. So here, I'll give you a perfect example of why I fell in love with it. So this year here in Ohio, I was deer hunting, and I was in a tree stand, right? I'm just waiting for the deer to walk by. And I know my mind, I can see them hundreds of yards away, man, and like in another part of the farm. And I'm not going to just sit there. The turkey hunter kicks in. I'm like, I'm going to run these deer down, right? Like I'm going to go after these deer. And it worked out, right? I can't sit in a spot for very long. I freak out, man. So with turkey hunting, like what I am so in love with is that one, I don't have to worry about the wind, dude. I love
Right.
that. Right. I don't have to worry about where my scent's going, but I can interact, man. I can interact with them. I call to them, they call back. Right.
Hmm.
I can move. They move. I move. There's no just sitting in one stationary spot or one little isolated area. I get up and move with them, man. You get to hunt them down. But I think that interaction, that auditory interaction is unbelievable, man. That's the
Yeah.
big thing for me. And then, for when you get a turkey that's close and he's drumming, which is a sound
Oh
they
yeah.
make, I mean, you can feel it, man. You can
Hmm.
feel it in your soul, and I freaking love that. That's what it is for me, man. And I think
Yeah.
the the best part, I think the best thing for like new hunters is you get a turkey that's gobbling hard, comes in, commits, drumming. You can see him. He's too far away to shoot, but you can hear him, man. Or like maybe you can't see him. Maybe he's
Yeah.
in the brush somewhere, but you can feel him. He turns around and walks off out of your life. That is what gets people hooked on turkey hunting. That's what I
Yeah.
freaking love, man.
Yeah. I had kind of the opposite first time turkey hunt that you did. And it was one of these moments where I did not know what I was getting into, right? The only time I ever heard a turkey gobble was in a like in a conservation, like a county conservation center where,
Yeah.
like they have a shed antler and they have like snake skins and beaver pelts hanging in there, and kids come in there like
Yeah.
once a year for field trips and things like that. And I went in, they had this button of like sounds of Iowa, and it had all these different bird recordings and like different recordings of animals, and there was a turkey button there. So I pushed the turkey button, and it made something. It was like, this is a male turkey.
Yeah.
This is a female turkey. Whatever,
Yeah.
whatever the sound was, and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And then several years later, when I went on my first turkey hunt, my uncle brings me down to this marsh, right? It's this big waterfowl preserve in north central Iowa, and it's there for waterfowl, but turkeys live there too. And man, the sun's not even up; it's gray light, right? And you can see the color in the horizon like really start to change. It's turning from like blues to pinks, and the sun's coming up, and my uncle throws out this one quick hen call, and the entire woods exploded.
Love
And
it.
it was that moment where I was like, dude, I'm getting chills talking about it right
Yeah.
now.
Oh yeah.
Right. And it was just a chain reaction of gobbles. And this was in the prime. It's not like it is today. There was way more turkeys on the landscape back then in 2001. And it was just like that gobble started another gobble, and you can hear it go clear across the marsh. And a turkey flew down right into us, and I popped him. And
Yeah.
it was like 6:10 in the morning. You know what I mean? It's one of those, and that was my first turkey hunting experience. And so it was that moment. And I can agree, like, the thing that fires me up the most is when I'm calling to a turkey who's in front of me, and I'm moving around the woods and I'm setting up on them. And then behind me, I start to hear the boom,
Yeah.
boom, and you can hear them dragging their wingtips
Oh
in
God,
in
love
the
that.
leaves,
Oh
and
yeah.
they're not gobbling. They're just, you can hear it, and you're like, how your heart starts to go bananas. How am I going to turn around without busting this?
Yeah.
And I've had turkeys in full strut 5 yards over my shoulder, and I'm just like trying to look with my eyes and not move my neck, and it's that type of moment that that just fires me up about the turkey hunting, and like you said, being mobile, and like not caring if it goes wrong. Like for me, it does. Like turkey, I bust a turkey, or a turkey follows a hen and he's out of my life. Guess what? I stand up, I walk the other direction 200 yards, I sit down, and I call again and try to work another bird. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
It's that type of stuff.
Yeah, that's the fun stuff. It's way more. It's not way more. It's more forgiving than
Yeah.
than hunting big mature whitetail deer.
Right.
You
Right.
know, like if you mess up once on a big buck, you may never see him again. That may
Right.
be it. You know.
Right.
But just imagine if if bucks had like a vocalization in between like an elk grunt and like what they do, or an elk bugle and like
Oh yeah.
a buck grunt. You know, what if
Yeah.
they had like a roar? You know,
Yeah.
people would be passing out in their tree stand. Even from the, like if a buck would come in and just would like have like a buck roar, that was
Yeah.
a lot louder than it is, man. Like,
Yeah.
people would love it,
Yeah.
And that's what you get with turkey hunting, man. When they get that fired up, man, and they're just freaking raging at
Mhm.
you, and just
Yep.
doing all the things, man, putting the show on. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's my favorite. I love it.
Yeah. The other thing I like, and don't get me wrong, deer hunting has a version of this during the firearm seasons, the deer camps and
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
the deer camps and the shotgun seasons where guys get together and do deer drives and stuff like that. But I've never been a part of any of that.
Yeah.
But what I have been a part of is turkey camp.
Yeah.
And that's where
Love it.
groups of people get together and they show up to a place, and everybody maybe pairs up and they go, one guy calls, and then they meet back up for lunch or or for dinner that night and grab a couple beers or whatever. And for me anyway, and maybe it's because I've turned it into that, I've purposely made it that, it's an easier hurdle, like what you did when your buddy was like, hey, let's go turkey hunting. It's easier barrier of entry to
100%.
get
Yeah.
somebody involved, or to get groups of people involved, or kids involved in it. And that's where I've relied on turkey hunting, is to get my kids excited about the outdoors, that and fishing, is because if a turkey blows away, or, like, it's easy. Like, I
It
mean,
is.
I don't want to say it's easy from killing them, but it's easy to get them out in the woods, to set them down, to hear that gobble, and for the most part, and maybe a little bit active. Maybe the kid doesn't want to stay still. It's okay to be a little, a
Absolutely.
little movement, maybe set a blind up and outsmart them. And so that's another big reason why, dude, I love turkey hunting.
Yeah. Yeah. It's easier to get into the game with,
Yeah.
with a hard gobbling turkey, man. And what's great is, like, a 2-year-old turkey, in the whitetail world, right? We
Yeah.
have 2-year-old, like most serious archery deer hunters are going to let a 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old buck walk, right?
Yeah.
A 2-year-old turkey are some of the funnest. It's the first year that they're, in the breeding cycle, right?
Yeah.
It's the first year that they got a big boy gobble on, and they're
Mhm.
freaking reckless, man.
Yeah.
Reckless. And
Yeah.
that's fun. And
Yeah.
it's fun for new hunters. It's fun for kids. Again, like the barrier to entry, it's not as cold, right? You can just, it's easier to get access. There's a lot of public land. You can bring, let's just say, inexperienced hunters in, and get them in the game. They may not kill something, but they're going to have fun, right? You
Right.
get on a turkey that's gobbling, and it's just fun. And
Yeah.
that's the good stuff, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. When my wife can go out and shoot a turkey, and then you got something there, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
she doesn't want to, and that's the issue that I'm dealing with my daughter. And my wife, she's killed like 5 turkeys in her life, and I think she's good. Like, I don't know if she ever wants to go out again. I
okay,
always offer every year, but my daughter. The other thing I like about turkey hunting, and this is like a sleeper, this is a sleeper comment,
mhm.
and that is, they're ugly animals,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
In the
yeah, yeah,
in the
yeah,
face.
yeah.
And so, with all due respect, when you shoot one in the face, it's okay
You're
to
right,
shoot an
yeah,
ugly animal for some reason, right? And
yeah.
I mean that with all due respect.
My
But
wife's the same way. She's like, I
yeah,
couldn't shoot a deer,
yep,
big old doe eyelashes and all that,
yeah,
pretty animal, fawn walking by her first year, whatever. But turkey, she's like, I could probably do that.
yeah, yeah. And
I totally understand that. Yeah,
that's where my daughter's at. She's
yeah,
even said, I don't know, I'll shoot a turkey. It's almost like,
yeah,
I'll shoot a turkey, right? Like,
yeah,
I'll get one of those. But
yeah,
like, something about a deer, it's loving and stuff like that.
yeah.
So
I want you to do me a favor with your daughter this
yeah,
spring. Well, if you can,
yeah,
take her on a turkey hunt. Leave the decoys at home,
okay,
and just try to hunt them in the timber. Give that. I think the thing that, you can take a decoy, right? And it doesn't always work, right? This isn't, nothing is absolute in the world, especially turkey hunting, right? You can take a decoy out, a hen, a jake, a tom, whatever it is, right? Or decoy combination, and manipulate that situation where those turkeys, they'll come running in. Especially, like, you get those younger turkeys, you get a couple of them, they see a mature, full strut decoy, they're like, game on, let's go.
yeah,
They're reckless, man. The reckless nature takes over.
yep,
But I think where people, where you take a person that hunts turkeys and you turn them into a turkey hunter, is when they work and work and work and work, and they're in the game, and the turkey turns around and walks off because
yeah,
you weren't in the right position. That's where you become a person that kills turkeys to a turkey hunter, right?
yeah,
And that's, and you do that where she gets a couple hunts where she gets her face kicked in by a turkey, which I freaking love, dude. I'm at the point now in my turkey, I'm like, oh man, he freaking won, and that's okay.
yeah.
But I think that's where you might hook her on that, man, and
Yeah.
and she might be like, that was fun, I want to do that again.
You ready for
Try
a
that.
story? You ready for a story, buddy?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So this year, this past spring, we always start off with a decoy setup. All right.
Yeah, love it. Yep, there you go.
Throw the decoys out. For me, it's something that I involve the kids with, right? It's the hen, the it's the typical strutter decoy, hen right in front of it, and it's like got a little motion in it. And we sit and we call on this 2-track, and it's over to our right shoulder, and we're sitting in the timber, and we're facing where the gobbles are, and they fly down, and they kind of work up, and they look, and they're henned up, so they don't want to come in because all the hens are with them too, and they're kind of working back and forth, and finally, I feel like probably I overcalled, and then we get up into, or they kind of go away, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is where my daughter and I look at her, I go, you want to go get him? She's like, yeah, let's go get him.
There you go.
So we lift the decoys right where they're at. We loop way around, and we tried to get that specific group of turkeys. And they were working away from us down at the bottom, but we went up top into the cattle pasture, tried calling again, and they didn't respond. However, another group of turkeys in the big timber started responding. And it was this ideal scenario where it was call, respond. Then I realized, like, they're not getting closer, so we got to move in on them, right? And so we creep up one ridge, call, they're on the next ridge. We back down, we go up that next ridge, we call, and they're on the next ridge. So then what we did is we drop down and we go 2 ridges over. We skip the next one and go 2 ridges over, and they were on the ridge that we skipped, right? So we're sitting
Of course
there.
they were, right?
Yeah, exactly, right? So we're sitting there and we're watching these one strutter and 2 other toms, like, just back and forth follow this hen, and we're in like a fallen down tree. And I just kept calling, and then getting aggressive with the calls and then being quiet. And then calling a little bit, getting aggressive, and then being quiet. And finally it broke. And 2, I don't know, 2-year-olds, whatever.
It's just hard to tell you. It's impossible.
Yeah, whatever. They had like 2 8-inch beards, right?
Yeah.
3 of them came in. One of them was in like this half strut coming in, and they were hammering in our faces. Okay. And my daughter is like, I thought they were going to walk right in front of us. They did not. And it's crazy. Like, deer follow terrain.
Yes.
Turkeys, in my opinion, are more straight line. They will walk in a straight line to wherever they're going. And so my daughter has to pull the gun up, turn around, because they go behind us, and I had to call them back to us, and then she pulls the trigger. No decoys.
Oh, good. I love that.
Exactly that cat and mouse type of scenario you talked about. The bad part was, and it was a bummer because I didn't really get to celebrate it because I had to start worrying about other things, is she shoots one, starts flopping, kind of goes down the hill a little bit. I'm like, yeah, we did it. She's like, what's that noise? I look behind us. She had shot in 2.
Oh,
okay. So then I'm like, oh shit, now I got to deal with this because I only have one tag, right? One tag. So we call we do the right thing. We call the DNR officer. He confiscates one of the birds, and he's like, then he goes through his spiel where, like, I'm not mad. You guys did the right thing by doing this. It's a learning experience, right? Try to get them to separate if you can or whatever. And these are the first 2 turkeys that she's ever shot, right? So we get the photo op with her, with the 2 turkeys.
Okay, good.
And then we turn the other one in, and whatever they do with it, they do with it. But it was a memorable moment for us because she killed 2 turkeys with 1 shot, right? Yeah. And so, there was some other stuff that had to happen, and I don't feel like I was able to celebrate it because I was like, basically, what I do for a living, I had to make sure I call and do all that, do
you go
the right
into panic
thing.
mode as soon as you turn around, and it definitely takes a little bit of the shine off. But man, that's what a story.
Exactly.
And that's where I think that, I just love that stuff. I love that, man. Like, let's just go, let's just not just sit here. Let's go hunt them down. And I think that's the beauty about turkey hunting. And I hope that people listening to this get to experience that,
Right.
And that's, and like, as you grow, this is the How to Hunt Turkey podcast, right? As you grow and learn learn through failure, that's where you get that sense, like, I got to move, I got to
Yeah.
go. Right. And eventually you'll learn how to and where to and when to move.
Yeah.
But that's just, man, it's freaking awesome, dude. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that story. Good for
Yeah.
her.
It's an activity where the seriousness, for me anyway, now I know different guys will say something different, but the seriousness and the failure are just not there. And what I mean by that, like when I fail at turkey hunting, I go, oh, well, and I move on to the next
Yeah.
thing. Right. Or the seriousness is like, it isn't there either, where it's like, I'm out here to enjoy a beautiful spring day, these cool birds, these cool animals, get to watch them strut, get to watch them communicate, get to watch them, fight a little bit, or, get to observe the hierarchy in the hens and the does and who's really in charge of these groups, and it, just being able to be out there and really observe nature and this bird in their natural environment is badass, man.
It is badass. I'm going to show you a picture of them. You see this picture right here? You see that?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I missed that deer twice this year.
Missed him twice.
Missed him twice. Same day. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got out of my tree stand, went and shot like a 125 later that night.
Yep.
And because I just wanted, at that point, I wanted my deer. I just showed Dan a picture. That's a good deer. We're what, 160s, 8-point, beautiful, right? And so you and I are totally opposite from that, right? Like, I missed that deer twice.
Yeah.
Right. Went and shot something a lot smaller than that. Didn't care. I was happy, man. I had a great day. My friend Andrew Noble was there. Watched the whole thing go down. Last year, I missed a turkey in New York. I missed 3 turkeys in New York, and I was ready to throw myself off of a bridge on the way home.
So you are. Right. So we're opposite.
100%
we're opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like Googling what's the highest point in New York, right? Like I'm driving my Jeep off this thing, right? I'm done, man. I'm freaking out. Yeah.
You're calling the wife and saying, "Hey, I'm sorry, I gotta go. I gotta go. It's over."
I didn't miss in 2025. I did finally kill my New York turkey, but it took me a couple years. But we're definitely opposite, man. And that's, again, that's the beautiful thing about life, man, is that, you've got your thing, I've got my thing, and everyone can be different.
Yeah.
I think that it's rare that you have people that are psychotic about both deer and turkey hunting.
Yeah.
I love to deer hunt. I love it. I love shooting big antlered deer, medium antlered deer. I love eating them. I love shooting does. I love all that stuff. Right.
Yeah.
If I couldn't deer hunt for a year or two, I'd be like, all right, whatever, dude. If I couldn't turkey hunt for a season, like, dude, I'd have to be on medication. Like I turkey hunt. Like, it's just like, why do you want to turkey? Like, why do you want to breathe? Right. Like, why does your body tell you to breathe every year? My body and my brain tell me to go turkey hunting as much as I freaking can every spring. And I hope it's like that for the rest of my life. So, but I think that the one thing that, like, I would mess up a turkey hunt. Right. And that's one thing, man, like, experienced turkey hunters, inexperienced, like, you're going to mess turkey hunts up. Right. And then there's just going to be times where the turkey just, like, isn't ready to die. And there's nothing that you can do.
Right.
But I have come to enjoy the turkey hunts as much, man. The ones that, like, I'm in the game, man, and I'm battling back and forth, and he walks out. Right. I didn't do anything wrong. He just was better than me that day. I've come to enjoy those as much or more than the ones that I get to pull the trigger, because when he walks off, I know that I'm like, I get to do this all again. When I pull the trigger, like, it's done. Like, it's just, there's that moment of, like, I freaking did it, and I freak out. I'm like, oh my God, dude, I lose my mind. I'm a screamer, dude. I'm a yeller, man. I kill a turkey. I'm just like, like this year I killed a turkey in Alabama, which was a big deal for me, man. I'd gotten my face kicked in Alabama. I finally killed his turkey, and I go up and I'm looking at him, and I scream, dude, as loud as I can. I shot gobbled 2 other turkeys that I didn't even know were there. Right. Yeah. I love that stuff. So I think that failure is the best teacher, and I'm getting all worked up now just thinking about it. I freaking love it, dude.
Right.
Those are the turkey hunts that keep me coming back, where it's just, you do everything right and you don't pull the trigger. That's it for me, man. That's it. Don't get me wrong. I love putting my hands on dead turkeys as much as the next guy, but learn from it. Have fun. I don't even remember what the question was, man. I don't know if you asked.
It don't matter.
Here we are.
It doesn't, at this point, it doesn't matter. Right. How many states are you hunting this year?
Oh man, that's a great question. Remains to be determined from my CFO/wife. I just started a business. I quit a job I quit a career to start this business. And for anyone, this, right? Anyone that owns their own business is taking that leap. The first couple of years are a little sketchy. And so I'm in that little sketchy part personally,
Yeah. Yeah.
Right now I will, obviously Ohio, I always hunt Michigan. So I think this year it'll probably be like 3 or 4, maybe 5 if I'm lucky. It'll be the states that are close to me. And I go out to Texas every year and hunt. I probably won't do that. I am going to Mexico this year. I've got a trip that I've previously committed and have locked in to hunt turkeys down in Mexico, hopefully complete a Royal Slam. So I'm looking forward to that. But, I'll probably do Ohio, Indiana, and I'll go up and do the New England run just because it's fairly inexpensive and I can knock off a couple states, pretty quick. It's, you go up north, it's a hell of a lot cheaper to turkey hunt up there than it is down south. I can buy a New York tag for $150 and I don't know, this is not a secret, right? This is a Google thing, and a tag in Kentucky's $350 or something like that for a non-res, right?
Yeah.
So there you go, man. So I'll do a couple states. I'll have a good run. And last year I did I don't know, 13 states, maybe. I honestly can't remember. Might have 9 or 10, maybe. But man,
13 states. Damn, dude. What state impresses you every single year?
That's a great question. I'm going to say every time that I've been to Alabama, it impresses me. It impresses me with just the culture, right? People are into it. It impresses me with the difficulty to kill a turkey down there. I'm just always amazed at how hard it is to hunt. You got to be on your game, man. Hunting public land in Alabama, you got to be on your game, dude. There's just no. Those turkeys are smart. They're highly pressured. And then I go to some of the New England states, and I hit an owl call, and I'm like, dude, the 15 turkeys just gobble at me? Are you serious? Did that just, you hear 1 or 2 turkeys in Alabama, Kentucky, Ohio, and you're like, that was awesome. You get into some of those northern states, all over the country there in the north that, I'm just impressed by the gobbling turkeys. But I think Alabama's just the one that I've always, that's been it's been a holy grail for me. That's been the crown jewel.
Right.
Mississippi, Alabama for me. I'm always impressed by just how dang hard they are to hunt down there.
Right. So let me tell you a little bit. The only time that I have ever been lost in the woods was in Bankhead National Forest in northern Alabama, public land there. And I'll tell you the story real quick. It was a cloudy day. I hopped into I worked third shift when I was working down there. And so I got off of work one morning and I drove from where I was working to the national forest, hopped in the forest, and it was a cloudy day. So there wasn't a lot of shadows, right? And I struck up a couple toms. I started bouncing over hills and they disappeared. They stopped gobbling. And it was a really quiet day. And I literally could not find my way back to my truck. And I was out there walking around for 8 hours.
Oh my gosh, man.
I'm not joking, to the point where sun's coming down and I started to get freaked out a little bit. And finally I heard a dog bark. And so I started walking in that direction. It was just
a road.
Yeah. 3 humps, 3 ridges or whatever. And I find a road and I look down the road and there's my truck. I wasn't very far at all from where I parked, but it was crazy. And I was out chasing turkeys, got lost in Bankhead National Forest.
Yeah.
And there's probably some Alabama guys down there that are like, Jesus, dude, how do you get lost in that place? Right?
Well, what's funny is because I've been lost in Talladega National Forest in Alabama. Yeah. You take a northern hunter, dude, and you put me in a bunch of pines.
Oh yeah,
dude, I'm done. I'm especially when turkeys start gobbling and start moving, I black out. I don't even know. Exactly, dude. And I've been there before too, where it's just I'm looking around, I'm like, dude, this all looks the same. I don't know where I'm at. It's just freaking pine trees and grass. I have no idea what I'm doing here. And thank God for OnX, right?
Right.
And my survival skills, have diminished, I guess, with as the more I use that. But
Right.
yeah, dude, it gets wild. You get down in some of those big timber, man, that big public land, wherever it is, Tennessee, Missouri, Ohio, the big hilly public land. You get gnarly, man. And that's that's how I judge myself as a turkey hunter too. Is those
Yeah.
like the bankheads of the world, land between the lakes, whatever it may be. That's how I judge myself as a turkey hunter. Is
Right.
success, whatever your definition of success is, in those those big public lands, man. I love them, dude.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right. 2026 season's coming up really
Yeah.
quick. I mean, it's only a handful of months away. What are you looking forward to the most this upcoming season?
Whew, man. I think the thing that I'm looking forward to the most is the hunt in Mexico with my buddy Pat Newcomb from Newcomb Hunting. That's the one I'm looking for. One, I've never hunted um out of country, right?
Mhm.
I've never hunted them. They've got Gould's turkeys in Mexico. So
Mhm.
Gould's is the bird that I need to complete my Royal Slam, which is five of the subspecies, all five of the subspecies in North America. I got the other four. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most, man. Just
Yeah.
sharing camp with those guys. There's going to be six of us down there. We'll be down there for a week or so, and just getting to do that, man. I love hanging out with at turkey camp, like we mentioned earlier, and the
Yeah.
possibility to I've heard like all these stories about turkeys, like Gould's turkeys. And if you're listening to this on the How to Hunt Turkeys podcast, if you scroll up a little bit, right, go to your app, scroll up a little bit, find the episode that I did with Jay Scott. Gosh, man, probably 4 years ago. It was all about turkey hunting in the West, turkey hunting Gould's.
Mhm.
Awesome episode. And he talked about, and this is what I'm looking forward to the most. He talked about how like Eastern turkey hunters will come down to Mexico and there's just turkeys everywhere, and the way that they act in Mexico is just different, right? They're able to be a turkey more because they're not as heavily pressured,
Yeah.
from hunters down there. And he said that Eastern turkey hunters come down and it's just like heaven for them,
Yeah.
because the turkeys are just drumming and gobbing and spitting, and there's just they're just doing everything you want them to do. That's what I'm looking forward to, man. I can't wait for
Hey.
that.
Amen, dude. Well, I'm sending you good luck. I'm sending you
Thank
good
you,
vibes on that. And I think this was a pretty successful rebirth episode full.
man. I hope so, man. We
Yeah.
didn't talk about how to hunt them very much, but that's all
No,
right.
but we got a lot of people coming up who are going to talk to us. I wanted today to be about the passion.
Yeah.
I
Well,
wanted
thank you
to
for thinking about me for that.
Yeah, I wanted today to be about the excitement and what turkey hunting has done and means, and things like that. And we got a lot of really good guests coming up
Yeah, I can't wait.
in the next handful of episodes. So stay tuned for that. If you guys like what you hear, go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you download the How to Hunt Turkey podcast. Give us a 5-star review. Let everybody know that it's a worthwhile podcast to listen to. Also, we have started the How to Hunt Turkey YouTube channel, and so we're gonna ask for you guys to go there and subscribe if you would like to watch the videos. There's going to be some other content coming into through that platform as well, so keep an eye out there. Go subscribe. Outside of that, man, Paul, I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to hop on and chit chat with us about turkey hunting. Good luck this upcoming season, my friend.
Dan, thank you. Thanks for having me, man. Good luck to everyone out there in 2026 and beyond.